I believe in absolutely dirt simple budgets. Everything else goes into other. And so this is absolutely critical. I walk into companies still to this day that have complex budgets, and for the life of me, I don't understand it, because a budget is about creating something simple to get to a goal and creating information that gets to the goal as simply as possible. Who are budgets and financial reports really for? And that may seem like the simplest question in the world, but yet I find it so confusing in so many companies I go into. For 12 months a year, financial reports and information are to manage the business. So by definition, they have to be simple and fast. The only reason they exist is to manage the business toward a goal of either making ends meet or producing a net income. That's the only reason they exist for. One day a year, they're for tax accountants. At the end of the year, the last day of the calendar reporting period, whether you're cash or accrual, you have to establish what the financials really are. And for one day a year, they're for tax accountants. For 364 days a year, they're actually to manage the business. So they need to be simple and easy to use reports. Second thing it tells me when reports are late and don't have useful information is the program managers don't care enough about the financial indicators, or they're too passive to request better information. By definition, program managers, frontline supervisors need data to help them manage the business and to produce the results of the company that is expected. If they aren't getting that information in a timely fashion, then they either don't understand that they really need that productivity information and budget information, or they're just way too passive to ask for it. You create budget estimators for all major categories, remembering that the whole is more important than the parts. Then you modify the budget quarterly, or at least every half year based on performance of the whole. So my funny story from this would be that we'd set up a budget estimator of overtime being at 7%. And we get to a 4-month report, and my program managers, it's 7.2% so far for the year. That's a couple of years ago. It's 7.2%. And they're in a tizzy. They're arguing with each other, how do we get this down? How do we do this? How do we do this? And I walk into the room and I look at them and I go, what does the bottom line so far for 4 months read? Or what does the whole, WHOLE, read? And they said, well, we're ahead of projection right now. We're slightly ahead of projection. Everything's working like clockwork. Okay, why are you arguing about 7.2% overtime? Well, it needs to be at 7. I said, no, it needs to be at 7 because that's the estimator we put in to make the whole work. If the whole is working, we do not need to modify currently. We are doing okay. So this is one of those situations that after you create your budget estimators and after you create your productivity expectations, which we'll get to in a little bit later, don't micromanage them if the whole is working. The bottom line to all this is, and then I'm going to go sideways with you. The bottom line to this is, keep budgets and budget reporting simple. Have simple categories in your budget. Have simple reporting in your budget. Have the things outlined in the budget and the budget reporting that are things people can understand and manage. If there are things that they don't need to manage and they don't need to understand, kick that into subcategories. It can be all clumped into one another or kick it into other subcategories. call it something, but they don't need to worry about it. They're basically, I always refer to as a basically pass-through thing, that I don't make any money for my business. The people on the front lines do. They work hard. They're incredibly effective. I need to give them the tools that they need so that they know they're responsible for the results of the company. And then I need to make sure that they know they are responsible for the results of the company and treat them as such. Not only with, I consider that I'm treating them with great respect by giving them information that helps them make decisions.
One is going to be on June 17th, and it's going to be covering the 4 major roles of managing, which is planning, organizing, leading, and controlling.